I got asked back after that amazing event for that amazing organization here, which I have a lifetime membership, a very proud member of the Boys and Girls Club of Moncton. I got asked back and ended up here with some famous British guy doing a speech in front of 5,000 citizens of this town, and I was so nervous. I ended up speaking first, and I was shaking at my knees, almost lost my voice, and now I'm back, and I rolled into town on my bike, and I can't say that's the best way to get here. we rode into St. John this morning, and oh my gosh, 155 kilometers of bike riding, tailwind bliss. The sun was shining. We even passed, there's a zone like 50K from St. John and maybe 80K from here that is pure spring. The snow has melted. You can see earth under. There's robins, and then we kind of entered a winter zone again and saw the snowbanks. But it's so great to be here. We have done a quarter of this ride. It's taken us just almost 3,000 kilometers to reach Moncton, to pass through New Brunswick, and I tell you, this province has put us to the test. The first day we left Rimouski and rode to the border, we left in a snowstorm. We got hailed on, sleeted on, rained on, snowed on. We had a headwind, and all these hills, all the sugar shacks were steaming along the way. Perfect sugaring weather, not good for the bikes. We had a headwind all day that day. And then the next day, the sun shone for that first day of spring, and we rode 180 kilometers from Edmonton to Woodstock. We had a couple of amazing events there, and what stands out most is a young girl from Woodstock. Her name was Clara. I had the chance to speak at the school with her before we left for Fredericton, in more rain and cold and wind and hills, but what warmed my heart that day was this beautiful young grade 8 student from Woodstock, New Brunswick, who told her story of mental health, who told her lived experience with mental illness, how she got through, how she's getting through, and now how she is using her voice to help all the kids that she gets to share with, to make sure that what happened to her with bullying, what happened to her with peer pressure, and what that led to never happens to anyone again. To hear a young girl use her voice like that just touched my heart. This province has touched our hearts. We rolled into Fredericton. It rained so hard. I felt like I was getting dents in my face. It felt like hail that day. There were some potholes in the road covered by puddles that we didn't see. We almost broke a couple wheels that day, but we never gave up. And this ride is about never ever giving up. Never giving up on the bike. Never giving up when it comes to the fight to break the stigma attached to mental illness. The very real reality of stigma that so many people face. I had a chance in my life to have support when I went through my darkest moments, when I went through depression as a young athlete. And because I was in sport, I got that support. I had everybody around me rallying me, trying to bring me back up, trying to bring me back to represent Canada again, to win more races. But this is not the reality for so many people and so many families that struggle, that don't know where to go or where to turn or on waiting lists. And this is what needs to change, and it all starts with our attitude, it starts with our education, it starts with our perception. And if we can turn intolerance and unacceptance and ignorance into education, into knowing what is there, knowing what the signs and symptoms are, and just compassion and realizing that this can happen to anybody and it's not a choice, and it's something that you can live with, and you can cope with, and you can thrive with. And I hope, if anything, that what I did in sport maybe inspired a few people to get on some skates or get on their bike, but more than anything, just to keep putting one foot in front of the other. I had so many moments in my life as an Olympian representing this amazing country that we are all a part of, and I had those moments to share the joy of winning, the joy of trying, the joy of being the best I could on every single day I had the chance to try. And now, the most important thing I realized after was sharing the struggle. It is what connects every single one of us. It is real, it It is in our families, in our communities, in our schools, in our hospitals, in our workforces. And I think it is the thing that unites us the most and the thing that we need to talk about more and more and shout it out loud so people listen and realize it is so normal to be human and have that struggle. And if anything, this ride is all about struggle. We started in Toronto on March 14th. March 14th in a winter, a whole winter that many people of my generation here only remember from being a young child having a winter like this. I'm from Winnipeg and I remember the minus 38 months on end of winter. It came back this year and we started in winter. Winter has just finally evaporated, at least for a few days here in New Brunswick, and I hope we have some sunshine and tailwinds here to stay. I am so very, very honored to be here in this amazing city, to have been in this province and to feel the warmth and see on all the roads that we've ridden, and we've ridden hundreds of kilometers, just a sense of modesty everywhere, a sense of decency that quite honestly makes me proud to be Canadian. So I want to say thank you, New Brunswick. Thank you, Moncton. And I'm kind of really sad that tomorrow is our last day in this amazing province, and you have touched our hearts so deeply that no matter what we face, even when we're riding through the Arctic Circle in May on the Dempster Highway, we're going to have that warmth inside of us. So thank you very much. I just can't say how much it means to see everybody here. Oh, I don't know about that! But to see everybody here means that mental health matters, just like it matters in Edmonton, in Woodstock, in Fredericton, in St. John, and here in Moncton. It matters to everybody, and that is the message that we are going to bring into Ottawa on Canada Day, on July 1st, on our nation's birthday. Loud and clear that this is a subject matter that means something, and we need to be so much better. And we are in it together, and I know that on this ride we are not alone. Thank you so very much. Lastly, as always, doing all these events in the 110 days, I'm sure Jim mentioned, we've got 260 community events. 85 of them are school visits, really igniting and empowering Canada's youth to realize and recognize they have a voice too, just like young Clara in Woodstock. Use it loud and clear. But the hardest thing for me and all of that is, along with the 12,000 kilometers, is there's never enough time. Like, I want to hang out with you guys all afternoon. We can get a barbecue out here and have some fun. But unfortunately, we have to get going and get ready for tomorrow, but I'm going to stick around. We have like 15 minutes. I want to take as many pictures with you guys, sign as many things as I can, and just be here with you. And you have just warmed our hearts, and I can't say thank you enough. Merci. Je suis vraiment content d'être ici. J'ai pratiqué mon français et j'ai parlé en français quand j'étais au Québec et aussi à Edmonton. Et demain matin, je vais parler encore en français avec les jeunes gens de Nouveau-Brunswick ici à Moncton et je voudrais dire encore merci, merci, merci.